What's going on for you?
This
Good man,
meeting is
good.
being recorded.
Good.
Phenomenal. So I made you co-host. You should be able to
Great.
let people in and all that fun stuff.
Nice.
I'll make Carla a co-host too. So just it's always good to have an extra set of eyes.
Yeah, whatever works.
It's always awesome. Dude, yesterday we had like 4 people from the challenge get into a deal.
I know. I saw a bunch of people did. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I hope
I
one of
love
them. I hope Creighton comes in and if he's been on every call, but hopefully he's on this
Yeah.
one. But his story is cool. It was almost like your first call you made, like you talked to that one guy from Texas, right?
hmm
He got a similar scenario, and again, I want him to share it, but before everyone jumps on, like so his first call he made, and he's like 18 by the way. The first call he
hmm
made, he it was like the wrong number, wrong address, and he used I'm leaving here with something like, so do you have any other properties you're looking to sell, or do you know any is there anything else? And then they said, well, my friend, he's about to lose his house. Um, when we call him? And so it's like a scream my hands. It's like a screaming deal. Like the flipper could potentially make like close to 100,000 or something. So
That's
it's
amazing.
pretty good.
That makes me interested. I'm interested.
Right. Yeah.
I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Well, so and so this was a little tricky because they wanted a lease back for 6 months and with option to buy. The thing is, I don't think they're going to make those payments. So it would basically you'd have to factor in the hold time and then the eviction costs.
Right.
So I mean, it's a great deal, but then there's caveats where for a lot of people it could be like a deal breaker, like it doesn't make sense. So
Yeah,
once
that's crazy.
once we get it under contract, which will be today, we have verbal confirmation.
Uh-huh.
I'll shoot it out to the
Nice.
community first, to us. Again,
Perfect. Love it. That's so cool though. I love that. Yeah, that's fun.
and Angie and I are about to get into deal as well. We sent the paperwork off, so that will be under contract. And Heather and I are also going to get another deal too. It's
Dang,
been freaking crazy, man.
that's amazing. Makes me feel like I'm slacking.
I might have a couple
Yeah,
deals too, Jared, to come. I need to come meet with you.
heck yeah, dude. Let's do it.
It's go time.
Go time. It's crazy. It's like the stuff that people are taking action. They're doing what we're talking about, and they're landing deals. It's crazy, weird.
Well, it's just on an outer marker. I mean, what's going on right now if you zoom out, what's going on with real estate and all that stuff right now? This is go time right now, dude.
You know, I have a problem with something when you have two half full cans sitting on your desk. I don't. Anyways. No, you're right. Sorry, Josh. I got distracted. But yeah, you're 100% right, man. What's going on, and the opportunities are there. It's just a matter of finding them and knowing where to look.
It's like I've found, like, we have all the tactics and we have all the sales stuff and we have all that stuff. But, I know you've heard it 1,000 times since you've been in Bernadas. It's
Sure.
be, do, then have. So you actually become what we talk about. You don't have to look for anything. It comes to you.
Yeah.
Be it. What do you do? I wholesale. Well, what do you mean wholesale? Well, I'm right now I'm helping people out of their messes that they've created in the last 5 or 6 years. Oh, really? Tell me about that. Boom. Just be it. And then somebody calls you, hey, I remember I talked to you the other night. I've got a friend that needs to talk to you. Okay. All I did is go out in the world and just be it. So that's the biggest part. It's just be it.
Yeah.
You know?
Be the investor, like feel it in your core, right? Just like, yes, I'm a wholesaler. I'm
And right
losing
now,
X amount of money.
I'm helping people out of messes right now. That's what I'm focusing on. Oh, what kind of investing do you do? Oh, well, right now I'm helping people out right now.
I like that.
You just keep focusing on that. Right now, I am
Mhm.
helping people, and then tell a story, a wholesale deal that saved someone's marriage or, saved everything. Just be it.
Yeah.
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 You
Sometimes it's
know,
like the ready, fire, aim, and you just like go for it and you figure it out as you're going. That's kind of how it
yeah.
goes.
If you be it, it comes to you. You don't have to
Yeah.
have tactics or little mousies to hold in front of people's faces. It just come to you.
Mhm.
Just be it.
Well, and that's the thing, like, right. I mean, the shadow of what Nate said, like, that's what I did. I didn't know what I was doing. I knew I was gonna fail, and so many other people when it started, like, I didn't I didn't really have this kind of thing. We did have a Mitch did put together a pretty good like Wednesday night extra study group, which is actually super helpful. That helped me out a ton. I'm sure Josh remember those, but
Oh
um,
yeah.
but it really like my 5-star wasn't helping me at all. I didn't have any, and so other than the few connections I made, like just going to the meetings, I just gonna figure things out, and I knew it was gonna mess up. I knew it was gonna fail a lot,
Yeah.
but did it anyways, right?
Yeah.
And I
So when
still
somebody
failed.
asks you, what do you do, Jared? What do you say?
When someone asks me what do I do,
Yeah, what do you do?
so I help people out of tough situations by buying their home.
Bam. Bam. Right there.
Can you repeat that,
I'm
Jared?
an investor.
I help people out
Some
of
people, that
out of
scares some people.
oh, for sure.
I'm an
For sure.
investor. I'm a big investor. People are like, "Oh, cool." But when you say, "Yeah, no, I'm focusing on wholesaling right now because if you do market analysis, that's what's bleeding right now is people that need help." So I'm the bandage
Mm.
because I learned some things from some people. And then, from there they say, "Hey, where did you learn this?" "Oh, well, let me show you." It's just you can market both sides of the call. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just be it. Just everybody just try that. Just be it and see what happens.
And Jordy, you want me to repeat? So I just say like I help people out of tough situations by buying their property. I said at home at first, but property is better. You always want to say the word side tangent. Say the word property instead of home, because then it's less of a pain point when you're talking about a property versus like their home. That's their heart.
Well, yeah,
Because
property's an investor too. A home was something a realtor would say.
right,
Hey,
right.
I have a question. Yesterday I called a seller, a homeowner, and then he asked me where did I get his number,
Hmm.
and I kind of didn't know what to say. I just said it's public records, and
Sure.
but I don't know if there's.
So what happened after that? You said it was public records, and
Yeah,
then
he
what?
was kind of asking again, but how? And I was like, oh yeah, it's just public records, and then he kind of let it let it be.
Yeah, and so that's a key there. So when you're anything you act like a big deal, it's a big deal, right? So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's public records, man. So I was able to find it. But then if you just ask a question like so is this property for sale? Then it even smooths it over. So I don't know what you did right after you said it's public records, which is a fine answer. But
Yeah.
and,
And then after that he kind of continued the conversation.
uh-huh.
Then we kept talking. But I think one thing that I think I messed up is that I didn't know what property was that. And then I asked him that.
Hmm.
And when I asked him like, hey, can you just confirm what address is this? He kind of felt unconfident, you
Okay.
know?
So you're calling him, but you didn't have the address or what was the lead source? Just so I have it around
Because
my head a
I
little bit.
called a bunch of numbers. I called like 10 numbers, and then this guy called me back because he didn't answer it the first time.
Oh, okay. So you didn't have his info in front of you because he called you back.
Yeah, he called me back. I mean, he called me like
perfect.
5 minutes later, and
Yeah,
then I didn't know
that's
what
good.
property was that, and I asked him, hey, can you confirm the address? And when I said that, he was like, so
You get this number?
where
Yeah,
did you
like
get my
how do
address
you
or
not
where
know
did you
the
get my
address?
number,
You
you
called
know?
me, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the response and that's super common, right? Because especially if you're using a dialer or just dialing a bunch, like I don't know what the number is. They call me back, you know that. And so what I'll say is like, hey, you know what? I actually called quite a few people today, so I don't have your information quite in front of me, and I definitely want to make sure I update my records so I don't call you back again once we get this figured out. What's the address? What's your address here? You know, what's your address? And ask them like that. It's like it's nothing, and then they'll usually give you the address, right? So it's just if you make it if it's because like tell me address because I don't have the paperwork in front of me because I called a lot of people. I called a few people today. I'm not sure which one you are.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so and this is yeah, and who's this again? So and you can ask this stuff, personal information. It's just make sure that you're like make sure you're asking it in tonality like it's a no big deal.
Yeah.
Like I can't emphasize on that enough. If you're nervous about asking it and you can even say things depending on certain like if you're asking for like the mortgage statement whatever it's like hey feel free to tell me no you don't want to tell me information no problem but how much do you own your mortgage and you can you can put the little like give permission to say no and that gives them permission or gives them the freedom to say yes right so another thing let me share my screen real quick and then we got to make make a phone call to the follow-up from yesterday but does that help,
Yeah.
Jordy?
Yeah, it helps. It's just I just couldn't find an easier way to find the property that I called.
Yeah, right. And that is, and I'm sure like we're using a dialer by the way, or we're using
I'm using Google Voice.
Google Voice. Okay, all right. So you're just dialing from Google Voice. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you can always just like whatever your list is coming from, just search for that number. You know what I mean, and figuring out that way. But
Yeah, that's
Control
what I
F.
did.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just found out what property was that, and I was like, oh, it's this guy.
Can I chime
Yeah.
in to maybe help a little bit?
Please.
So when I make a phone call, I text the same time. I let them know, I'm trying to help so and so, and then I put like
The address in.
the address in and the name.
That's a
So
good.
when it
That's
pops
a
and
good.
they call me back, it's already there.
Yeah, so you can just look at the message that's from that phone number and then
Yeah.
that's not a bad idea. I like that. And I do that a lot when I am like after I have a conversation and then I send him text messages to Jared and then I was calling about this property so I can have a little reference. So Jordy on
I
that note,
also don't answer if I'm not in front of my phone because you don't have to respond right away. You don't have
Right.
to answer. So if you're like not as confident about the address and you don't want that part, you can just wait and then call them back and say, hey, looks like we're playing phone tag. And then you have the information in front of you. And so always waiting is fine too.
Absolutely, I agree. Right. If you're not in the spot, like you're just a bunch of phone calls, then you're out there with the kids or whatever, I mean, maybe that's not the best time to return those phone calls. But you can call them back later on and then make that call. So there's some pros and cons to both on answering the phone right away or calling them back. Answering the phone right away, they're interested in having a conversation right then and there, right? So you're more likely to have a conversation right then because it can't be like, oh, I don't have time to chat. Like, well, you call me. What do you mean you don't have time to chat? So it's kind of hard for them to say something like that. Versus if you waited because we are the prize. Okay, we are the one that can save them out of the situation. And so you need to have that mindset as well. Like I want to, again, what can I do to help you? And if I don't help you, you're kind of screwed. So you need to qualify yourself to me. Like that's like the mindset. So if you're a busy, successful person, how easy is it to get a hold of a busy, successful person? I mean, I'm busy. I mean, we'll put a asterisk on successful, right? But like people send me text messages and I'm terrible getting back, but it's just like 20 other thousand things coming in. So it's like, it gives yourself a little bit more, if you call back later, it's like, okay, cool. It gives you a little bit more potential authority or credibility by calling them back. But then you might just get phone tag and never contact them too. So there's pros and cons. I think it really depends on your situation. If you're in a place where you can have a conversation, have it. If not, then just call them back. So on back to what you were saying already before about, so a comment, I put it, this is the script that's in the classroom in the documents. This is the script that's in there, so everyone can, and if you're gonna adjust this, which is totally fine, like grammar, spelling's wrong, like that's normal with anything I write. Just make a copy and then you can make any adjustments you want, right? But where did you get this number? I get leads from all sorts of places. I would be more than happy to check. Is this property? That's so Jared phrase right there. So is this property for sale? So you address it, and that line right there is actually from Chris Alvin on the first Deal of the Decade class, on the Deal of the Decade class. I got that line from there, and I still use it today.
I think this is the first person that I see more interested in that, in selling, because when I asked him, have you thought about selling? And he said, well, how much are you willing to pay? And then I don't know if it's this right or wrong, but I just said that I would love to have an appointment with you to see the property first, and we would love to make an offer, a cash offer.
Oh yeah. So how much? My bad. So, and that same script, because that's a, and for me, when someone asks me, well, how much you willing to pay, that's a red flag for a tire kicker. Like they're not interested in selling, but if you're offering $2 million, they'll probably say yes, right? Not to say that he is a tire kicker or not, but it does kind of tend to be that little bit that way. So when they ask, how much are you going to offer me? And you sound like you handled it perfectly, right? You know, that's a great question. And it's nice to validate any objection they have, right? Hey, that's a great, I'm really glad you asked that, or that's a great question. In order to give you a fair market offer, my partner and I would need to walk through the property and check the condition. Once we've seen it and we're able to give you a fair offer at the same appointment. Would tomorrow 5 p.m. work? You know, so you just go right into the next, whatever the next question is, right? But it sounds like you handled it great. You know, I need to take a look at it. I need to, you know, and even if they push it, like, why can't you buy it now? It's like, yeah, I mean, I'm making a lot of phone calls today, and there's no way I'll be able to do all my analysis for each every phone call. So once someone's interested in selling, then we'll go through the research, and because I don't want to give someone an offer then having to try to change it or try to negotiate down, which is not how I like to do business. When I give someone an offer, I like it to be a real offer. That's something we're going to close on. Perfect. But yeah, so in there, those are common. You know, so much that I put it in the script, right? As far as, and in the script, guys, for cold calling, this does not necessarily have to be in the order, word for word. This is like a bullet point script is how I want you to take it. Okay, so like the intro is basically gonna be like the only thing that's gonna be pretty consistent as you start. Then it's gonna go as a regular conversation. You know, so how much you like to sell, because we need to find out the whys, how much they need to sell for, and then how soon, right? That's it, and then set the appointment. Boom. Even if you don't find out those three, okay, let's just set an appointment. Done. Okay, cool. But great question, Jordy. All right, we got 25 participants. I want to talk real quick. We're going to call the guy back from yesterday. But hey, Creighton, can you share a little bit? So yesterday was a killer day. There was like 4 people in the community that basically got into some deals here. So Creighton, tell me, so you made a phone call yesterday. Tell me how that went.
Sweet, yeah. So this was my first ring, my first dial. Talk to the guy. Guy picks up. He's renting from the owner that I was supposed to call. And he said, you know, it was the property wasn't even the same thing as what I was calling on. Completely different property. Ended up figuring out that they're in a sticky situation, and yeah, we started talking with them, and they are wanting to sell, wanting to get out of it. It's a interesting situation, kind of a buyback kind of thing. But yeah, it was my first ring, first dial. Just, you know, ask those basic questions like Jared was saying on the script, and then they're like, yeah, I think we have something to do. Let's get this done ASAP.
Right.
So,
No, that's awesome. So to point out, like, so the address and even the person he called isn't the same address and the same person that we're actually going to deal with, right? He used the I'm looking here with something, right? And like, great, yeah, I know someone else that is looking to sell, right? Wrong numbers, you can find deals, guys. I mean, the vast majority of wrong numbers, you're not going to find anything, but you can. So always lead with something, with some sort of conversation. How old are you, Creighton? Are you
I'll turn 19 in December.
19 in December? So 18 years old. Oh, so you're 19 like in next a week or two then.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So that's awesome. Congrats, man. That's awesome. We're gonna. So we should hear back from him anyways, as far as because we have a verbal confirmation whether he's. No, we just need him to sign the documents. And Heather had a cool one too. Do you want to talk 30 seconds about deal you're working on, Heather?
So I got a hold of this son that was trying to help his family. I guess one of his grandparents had passed away. The house is in Minersville, which is really far out. But I guess they were trying to make payments to the bank and everything, and the bank was like, no, we don't accept your amount. They wanted to have the full amount to be caught up. No more payments were being accepted. They're behind like 17,000, and we're working with them to help them out. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, but at least like a yes is good.
Right. I mean, and the cool thing is that this one, it's we got them. We need to get one thing kind of worked out,
Yeah.
but they're agreed to sell
back?
it. No, she did message me. She got sick. She went to the doctors, and so she wants to call us later. Wants us to chat tonight.
Okay, cool.
So, but we just need to work out like one thing because as far as like a rent back option that they want, but they're willing to sell it at 100,000, which is basically and subject to.
Yes.
Right, and also Creighton. Keep on saying her name wrong. Creighton, his deal's gonna be subject to as well, which both of those we're buying it basically at what the value is of the mortgage.
Okay. Remind me what subject to kind of means.
Great question. So subject to is subject to the existing financing. So we're buying the property, but we're leaving the mortgage in place, their mortgage in place.
Okay. So technically just taking it over from basically the mortgage price point.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. I always want to do a little bit over 1,000 or two, so at least they walk away with something. You don't want to do exactly at the mortgage amount because it just there's some legality challenges. But make sure that they walk with something, even a couple $100, it counts. And Angie, we want to talk about. Can you jump off mute and talk about the deal we're working on? Like take 30 seconds and just kind of a little rundown real quick.
Yeah. So this one, it is a wholesale deal that Jared and I are working on, and the buyer of the property called me because he can't afford to buy it, but he got a good deal. Like he's buying it for $380 in Mesa, Arizona. It's got a swimming pool and a nice neighborhood, and the comps are anywhere between like 460 to 480. So we are going to purchase it. We're going to wholesale it and flip it to somebody. They're going to purchase it. They're going to be able to buy it from us for about $400, and then they will make $30,000 in a year because the buyer's going to buy it from us at $430. And if they pay cash for it, they'll get $30,000 in rents. So in a year, they'll make $60,000 on the investment. So they make something like 15%, right? 60,000 of 400. But if they finance it and put 20% down, they only put 80% down. Their ROI ends up being like 43%.
Wow.
So, and we found this one on social media, right? An ex-sister-in-law called. She says, "Hey, I heard you're doing this. Are you still doing that?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Hey, I know somebody." So she sent me their information, and we've been working with them to get it all negotiated and set up. So.
And that's the beauty of like social media and just documenting what you're doing. You don't have to be closing 5 deals a month for people to notice and to think of you when to think of someone with a real estate challenge. If you're in documentation mode, where like, hey, I just got off of and let people know that you're doing a 60-day wholesaling challenge or games. People don't really the game part, like they don't know what that is. So you say challenge, but it's the same thing, right? I'm doing a 60-day. Yeah, go ahead. What was that, Josh?
She was being it.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And Angie, she's an action taker. I love her. Her and her husband are freaking awesome. Like, yes, absolutely. So she's being it, right? So it's you're like, I just got off of a really cool coaching call with part of my 60-day wholesale challenge. And you don't have to say, hey, hit me up, anything. Just start putting stuff like that. Oh, I just made a phone call and had some really good conversations with some sellers like that. Just post like that, simple stuff, and then you can have those you're building intrigue, and then another post every couple, like once or twice a week, of like, hey guys, I'm looking to buy. Like I put it in the free ads, so it's in the money, no money, no time, and also no money and I think no money, no time, where it's like the free ads in Facebook. So just posting things like that into other groups. So even if you have like 4 followers, okay, join all the Facebook groups, which also is the side quest. Oh, and I got that fixed, by the way. The form, for some reason I couldn't, and normally it's a simple like make it accessible then with a link. It was being biggest pain in the butt, but I got that worked. So if you click on the link in the chat, or not the chat, in the community discussion page that's pinned on the top, it'll come up with that form that I was showing you guys yesterday. So it's fixed now, and you just need to fill it out once a week, okay, by Friday, and what you did that week. So but yeah, sorry, just squirrel. Anyways, so joining like a bunch of groups, and just one, like adding value, and also saying like, hey guys, I'm a real estate investor. Even whether you bought a property or not, doesn't matter. I'm a real estate investor. I'm looking for properties that potentially need to sell quickly. I give them a fair market offer. And if you're not an agent, depending how you want to say it, I'm offering partnership fees, or how to say it. If you're not an agent, you can say the referral, even though, and the thing is, agents will try to say, hey, you can't do that. I'm not an agent, so I can't do that, but that's okay. If you're an agent, then to say like, if we do partnerships, where a lot of times the partner that brings us the deal, we pay them $2,000 to $5,000 depending on the numbers. So you can have any partnership you want if you're an agent. It's fine. That's awesome. Congrats, Angie. That's awesome. I love it. It's really cool.
You heard it?
Yes.
I think I messed it up yesterday. I had my first dial and I think I was nervous, and well, he entered and I told him, "Hey, is this property for sale?" And he said no. And I tried to keep the conversation, and I told him, "Hey, do you have any others properties that you have, or like that?" And he said no. And just like that, no and no. And I said, okay, well, if you in the future, maybe you need some help, please contact me, and that would be awesome. And I don't know.
It sounds like you did great. If he doesn't want to sell any properties, then he doesn't offer like, hey, if you know anyone else. Did you offer any type of like a referral fee, anything like that at all?
No.
Okay, so that'd be like the only small note.
Yeah.
Good job. I just kind of feel weird when you get that nope, right? Like, nope.
Yeah, I know, but I think I'm losing, the to be afraid to call, and I mean it's the I have to continue doing it.
Yeah. Are you using a dialer, or are you just dialing one at a time? Which is fine either
No,
way.
and I use my phone number, and I said, oh well, I'm trying to use it now, the dial Google.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you're using the dial. So you're using now the dial Google. Can you do multiple phone numbers? You just upload a list with a call, or are you just using the Google Voice number?
The Google Voice
Number.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. So what I recommend. Did you have a list you were calling, or were you calling like one at a time and then doing research and then calling another next
No,
one?
I have my list, and I'm putting, oh, this is the owner, the address, the phone
Mhm.
number, and if the owner answer, I put answer, or I have to call tomorrow,
Okay, cool.
or I left a message. Yeah.
Love it, love it. And
Mhm.
one thing I would recommend is do what Anna did, as far as, so sometimes it takes some courage to build up that first phone call. Because even me, sometimes I'm making phone calls, I'm like, please don't answer, please don't answer, please don't answer. You know, and once you build up, it takes energy and like to build the courage to make that first phone call. And once you make that phone call, then it's easier to start dialing again. If you're at like where you're just calling one at a time, okay, cool. I found that number, like you're driving for dollar list or something like that. You're making one phone call. Okay, cool. Now I got to go look up this other property and see what the phone number is. That's gonna be 10 minutes past or whatever, and then you have to build that courage again. So like build out the list. Don't make that as an excuse to not do anything, right? Build out a list. If you're spending a lot of time on it, then you need to chunk it down and just dial those 10 numbers, those 20 numbers, whatever it is, just one after another. But good job, great job, Anna. Phenomenal.
Thank you.
That's awesome, guys. And right after this phone call, so I do have a hard stop at 12, which we do. Oh, we still got to call that one guy for Sandra. So I'm going, another guy that's I don't think is on the call, but Brandon, he was running ads and a guy answered it. So it's in Grantsville. And the cool thing is with Grantsville property or Grantsville deal, you guys know Tracy? Not Tracy. Christine from GT Title. I don't know why I said Tracy's random. But Christina of a GT Title. And he didn't know I lived in Tooele, and so he was talking to her about this deal because it was a little bit challenging. And she suggested, hey, you should talk to Jared about that. I know he lives out there, and he can get deals closed. It's like, oh yeah, I'm in this challenge, and so Christine suggested Brandon to call me. That's another point or to building those relationships as time goes on. And providing value for other, when you're in the mindset, what can I do for you? How can I help Christina get more closings? How can I get her, make this as easy as possible? Then when it comes down to, oh, I love working with Jared, I love working with Nate, I love working with Angie. Oh, great. There's this thing that actually fits right into Nate's strategy. I'm gonna suggest to go contact Nate because you built that relationship, and that comes over time. But that's the beauty of building those relationships and having the mindset of like, what's in it for you? How can I help you in whatever your goals are? So that's awesome. Cool, guys. So I love the action taking. I really do. I mean, it's amazing. Anna, good job on making that first phone call. Sick. I love this. Let's call back the guy from yesterday. So Sandra, yeah, so we chatted yesterday about the deals, did some more deal analysis with the Park City ones, like, because he was asking for like 300, and it's like a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, like not even 500 square feet. It's like a hotel room, and for 300,000, I mean, the payments on it with the HOA fees alone is like $420. And those never go down, by the way. They only go one direction.
Find short-term rentals with HOA is really risky because they could switch it on a dime.
Especially with short-term rentals.
Yeah.
I literally had that happen to me. So me and Tamara and Kevin Wright, we owned a condo in downtown Salt Lake. We're doing short-term rental out of it.
Mhm.
And then a year into it, because we're doing pretty good, they switched it and like, nope, HOAs they changed their rules and no one can do short-term rentals anymore.
I remember.
So it was, I mean, fortunately it appreciated at the time. So we actually like made like 40 grand on the sale, but still, I mean, it could have been disastrous if it still would have like broke even if we did like a regular rental, which we could have done, but we're like, yeah, let's just get out of it. Stupid HOA. So the HOA, the Park City ones, they're not really, it's not going to make much sense. And as far as like the Grantsville one, we can make something happen, but it needs to be like a lot lower payment wise as far as the creative financing one. So I want to talk to him about doing it, but I'm not going to give my offer's gonna be a lot lower than he's thinking, but let's give him a call. If I can find my phone. What the deuce?
If that's the hardest challenge you have today, you got it made.
I know. Hey, drop it? What's going on? Well, you know, it's in the kitchen. Hang on. All right. Well, I can't call without my phone, so I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Hang on. All right, I found it. Heather was calling. Help me try to find it. Okay. It's ready. Should we give this guy a call?
We're leaving.
And
I
again,
saw
I
you
gotta,
leave. I come, so we're leaving.
okay. But good job, guys, and all the action. I'm freaking loving it. It's amazing. Guy's number. Okay, yeah, found it. Here it is. Okay. Let's call Carlos. Okay, make sure I'll unmute, please.
Hi, this is Carlos. I'm so sorry I missed the phone call. I'm probably on the other line, so you can also try texting me. Please leave the message. If you want to go to my website for lending, go to UtahLendingPro.com, and for real estate, go to Buy Utah Real Estate.
Okay. Well, he sent me a text message to say he's on a call right now, so he can't. When he finishes, he'll give me a call back. But that's fine. All right, cool. So what is, and assuming he's gonna call back here in a bit, what other does anybody have any questions or challenges that they're coming up against, or even some shout outs as far as like success stories? Like we've been having a lot of cool people taking action, getting into some deals. You know, that's a magic. Oh, wait, Frankie, thought you said you had some news on Friday? We did a deal analysis on one of your deals, and on that one you said you had some news. Let's talk about that. Frankie, are you in a place where you can come off mute?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Yep.
Okay. Well, this is what happened with that deal, Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
That deal has been brought to me by two different wholesalers.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with the first one, I was not able to make it. And with the second one, I was not able to make it either. So yesterday, after the holidays, we connected and we went to the property. The property.
You and the wholesaler.
I met the wholesaler and the owner, the seller.
Okay.
But the seller does not live in the house. His son lives in the house.
Mm.
But the tricky thing about this deal is that the owner wants to sell the property and close as soon as possible. Okay.
Yeah.
But the son wants 75 days to stay after closing. And that's been one of the challenges. The other challenge is that property is right next to the railroad tracks.
Mm.
Okay, So I got the owner, because I got there before the wholesaler. So I started talking to the to the owner, and he told me that he owns more property. So I asked him, "Hey, are you open about selling another property or something?" He says, "No, not really, not at the moment." I go, and I asked him, "What do you do for a living?" It comes to find out that he's a general contractor as well. But he's a little bit older than I am. So,
Yeah.
we started talking, and what do I do now? Because the wholesaler himself told me that the contract that they had with that seller, it expired. So they don't have a contract anymore.
Okay.
And the price that because he gave me, they had it on the contract for a little bit less. And I don't know, should I contact the seller or what?
Okay, so and this is a good conundrum, which some people fall like the opportunity to kind of go around the wholesaler sometimes, because sometimes the wholesaler just kind of messes things up, and because I'm sure this person knows what they're doing. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. But some, people make mistakes. Even experienced investors make mistakes, right? So, what is the price point that they were trying to wholesale? And when you said I have a few questions. When you said multiple wholesalers, were they just like working together, or was it like they got it under contract, didn't work, and the next one tried to do the same thing? What was like the scenario with the multiple wholesaler thing?
That exactly what you just said. Neither one of them was able to sell it because of those two stipulations that the seller has.
Right.
They want to stay 75 days after closing, and is next to the railroad tracks. Those are the two biggest challenges there
What
is
was
over there.
what was the
And
price
the
that they?
property, though,
Sorry, go ahead.
and
What?
the property, as I walked through the property, the whole inside layout, it doesn't make sense. So based on the numbers that I have to renovate it, it's gonna take a little bit more than I anticipated.
Sure. So
That's the other challenge.
what was the price point that they had it under contract and what they were trying to wholesale it for?
I don't know how much they had it on the contract. Well, now that the last one, I do know how much they have it on the contract. They had it at 283, and they wanted to wholesale at 290.
Okay, so they're not
That's
trying to
what
make
the
a killing.
wholesaler told me.
Okay, got it. And it's just a cash deal, right? What would be the price that would make sense? Because everything going on with the deal and having to have the son stay, because that's going to cost you time, and I can definitely see with it being a big rehab and then having to wait 2 months.
3 months.
3 months, right? So that's it. That is a pretty big bite. One thing I would recommend doing is, and even if you're working with the wholesaler, you can insist that they put this in a contract, an addendum. If it is like a back time that you don't get possession of the property for a week, a month, especially 3 months, you need to hold for that long. I would say hold the vast majority of the funds in escrow until you get possession of the property. And so if it's like, okay, listen, it's going to cost me, and be open with the seller, like it's going to cost me this much just to hold on to the property, and it's really time is money. And so when we're working with 200, almost $300,000, those, and with the higher interest that we're currently paying to fund deals like this, it's really, that really kind of kills the deal. So we need to hold $40,000 in escrow until we get possession. And if we and whatever that date is, so from day 70, so 75 days, is what you said, right?
Yes.
So on day 76, if you don't have possession, then on this scenario, $1,000 deducted from that hold every day for the next 30 days, right? If it's 30,000, for example, then they forfeit it to you, right? So that way it kind of helps pay for the holding costs if they don't get out. So you negotiate a price where it makes sense to even hold it for those 75 days, and it's not gonna, like, it's still gonna give you enough profit even with extra rehab. So that may be 250. I don't know. Depends how much they owe. I really don't know. But whatever that looks like, and then holding their basically equity, a big chunk of it at least, if not all of it. Like I understand you sell this property, you want 75 days. we're gonna hold that because it's our insurance to make sure that you guys get out. You know, I do it with everyone in this type of situation. Like I'm able to be a little bit flexible, help you out, but I need to have some sort of insurance. You know, that's what we or some sort of security. That's we hold it. And so if you end up having to evict them, then their money is going to help pay for the holding time and plus the eviction. Because if they're every day they're forfeiting, and it's held by escrow company, so it's like 30 days later, like they haven't gave possession, and like in the purchase price it says, or the purchase contract / addendum says, after the 30 days, that's like all they forfeit $1,000 every single day, and now they don't have anything. So then they need to release the funds to you in that point.
Okay, that would be some pretty big legality. And to tell you the truth, the person that lives in the house, he doesn't really seem that he is gonna move out
Right.
on his own.
Yeah.
You probably have to evict him. Yeah. He was very happy seeing us there yesterday.
If he gets out, great, but plan for the worst, hope for the best. So run your numbers as if you got to hold it for 75 days, and then plus the cost for eviction and the time of holding it. So the extra 2 months it's going to take to get him out. You know, and even like from day one, you know, that he's, you have to check with an attorney though. I think there's some ways where you can speed up, like they kind of forfeit some of their waiting time. Like from day whatever, from day 80, they forfeit any, I don't know, I have to look and see if you can do that legally. But I'd be curious to see if there's some way where you can have them excuse any type of, because you have to give them notice that, hey, you're being evicted, exit premise, and you have like, you know, 5 to 15 days for them to get out kind of thing. Otherwise, then they take them to court and then get that filing. So I think there's ways where they can waive that waiving time, I think. But check with a professional. I'm not entirely sure how we do that. I'm sure there's a way.
I got a question for you though.
Yeah.
Would you advise me to continue working with the wholesaler or go directly with the seller?
Great. Okay. So here's the thing. I would work with the wholesaler if you can.
Okay.
And this wholesaler, do you know this person very well, or is this kind of just a wholesaler that you've kind of met?
You know what? I've been talking to them for about over a year, and I have yet to pick up a property from them. You know,
so
because he's one of the big wholesalers out there.
Sure. So with that, you don't want to. It's kind of sleazy. Like someone brought you a deal, even though it didn't quite work, and then you go back around and buy it, and not take care of them one way or another. I think that's kind of sleazy, right? Not saying I get it. Sometimes it's, you know, business is business, but what I would do in that scenario would, like, hey, I would talk to the wholesaler. Listen, I want to pick this up, and I know that you guys are out of contract. I want to make sure you're taken care of. I want to make sure that I'm good having a conversation with the seller because I need it at this price point. And maybe even give him a chance to like, or go with him, right? And like, hey, listen, let's work this together. And if I can get at this price point, I'll be able to pay you $3,000 as a finder's fee, as a wholesale fee kind of thing. And I mean, he's not getting the 7 he was hoping for, but right now he's not getting the 7 he's hoping for anyways. So whatever makes sense.
He's not getting anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would just go work with him, or say, okay, listen, I'm gonna reach out to the seller. If I do end up getting under contract, I'm gonna make sure you're taken care of. I'm gonna have to, depending, it's gonna be, you know, anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000, depending on my numbers, how well I can negotiate it down. But I want to make sure that I'm not cutting you out of this deal. I'm gonna I'm gonna reach out to the seller and see what I can do, right? Because you have more experience talking to sellers than probably he does. Well, I don't know. I'm just guessing, right?
Yeah.
So
no, not really. That's why I'm taking. That's why I'm in your class, because I really haven't been talking to sellers directly to sellers. I've been getting
great time to learn, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, and believe me, you know what? I want to tell everybody that is in this class, man. The only thing that we're gonna get better at it is we practice what we listen from you. You know, and that's how we're gonna get better. You know, and it seems that there's a few of us that are doing so. You know.
Oh yeah.
So congrats to all of you guys that are getting action into it.
I think the vast majority of people are really like doing awesome job at taking action. right? And now that we put more gamification into it, you know, and then this next weekend, we're going to be doing some door knocking together. And so I'm really excited for all this stuff. I'm really proud of you guys.
So there is a recording at corporate on Thursday and Friday, and I'll be at that. When do you think that we'll have like a solid time and place to meet? I want to have that before like Friday night.
No, you're 100% right. So should we take a minute and figure out where we're going to be meeting? Because it's going to be 11 to 2 is what I put on the calendar in the hey, CJ's here. In the calendar from 11 to 2. And if you have to leave early, that's fine. I was planning to be in the Salt Lake Valley. That's kind of where most people are in the Salt Lake Valley, right? Yeah. What I would like to, let's take a look. Because we're going to do it, and your homework assignment, guys, before Saturday is to watch the door knocking class in the classroom, and also the door knocking body language class I put in there in the classroom. Okay, so it's like 30 minutes, and the other one's like 10 minutes, something like that. So they're time for 40 minutes, times it by 2, whatever, and hear me talk even faster. Yeah,
Can you repost that in the community?
One more time, Jason, what was that?
Yeah, can you post that in the
post the link?
community?
Yeah, I can do
in
that.
the community.
Sure. I'll put it in there so we can kind of see what the dealio is and where. Oh, shoot. Okay. Excellent. Okay. So, but yeah, let's figure out a time that makes sense. So what we should do is this. And in like 10 minutes, I do got to jump out of call. Like I like being able to stay and continue the conversation after 12, but I got to run over. I got a meeting with the seller, so I got to make sure I hit it. So let's see here. Properties. Ideally, we want to do an area that have more notice of defaults. But if you do get like a notice of default, like you don't need to have. If you watch that training I did, the last if there's one if you're knocking on doors on a block, we're gonna do a farming technique. So you don't want to. The last person you're gonna knock on is gonna be the actual foreclosure property. Okay. Let's scroll. Is there any request for location?
I have a question now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I found this property, and
Yes.
it's an NOD, and
Okay.
they already have their terms that they want to see somebody come in with like 80,000, 5%. Just wanted to know like the best way to structure that.
So sorry, tell me again. It's an NOD, and what was that again?
They want 80,000.
Okay. To walk away, and they'll leave the mortgage in place.
They'll leave the mortgage in place, and you're gonna just pay it's like they want 439. I don't think it's worth that. They'll leave the mortgage in place. They want 80,000, and I think that's probably just to catch them up. And then the interest on that would be 5 or 5.5, I think.
Okay. So do we know what the amount is of to catch them up is, or the exact amount, the reinstatement amount?
The 80,000.
It is 80. So 80,000 is the restatement amount.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and they owe what, 350 or so, or 360?
I don't know that. I haven't called them yet, but I was just looking at it, and so that's what it is. They want 439, which I don't think it's.
Is this on the market, or
it's on the market? Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So they have an agent that has it, and they already have the terms in there, but it's been on the market for I think 45 days now. But I wanted to kind of work quick on it.
Sure. So I would find out what exactly the 80,000 is going for. If it is 100% just the reinstatement amount, and is it assumable, or are they doing subject to? Does it say in the listing?
Actually, let me pull it up really quick. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I know you
What
have
site is
to
it?
get off, but okay, let's see.
What city is this?
It could be West Valley.
Yeah, West Valley. What do you have to say about West Valley knocking on West Valley's doors? It looks like there's a lot more foreclosures in West Valley than any.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot more foreclosures out in West Valley. Interesting.
Yeah, and it's an actual NOD. Oh gosh, it's not letting me get in the MLS right now. But yeah,
Of course,
I can
right?
figure it out. Yeah, I can figure it out. But then I don't know, just text you later or put it in the group thing.
Yeah, text me
Okay.
later. I mean, we can figure it out. Or just probably the first thing is just give them a call, talk to the agent, and get a feel for it. Want to find out what 80,000 is going for.
Mhm.
What's their timeline? If it is a notice of default, then what is there an auction date already set? Like, what's their situation? And just go from there.
Okay.
That's the beauty of why is it? Because that 12 is jumping everywhere. So what do you guys say we do it in West Valley? Is anyone opposed knocking on doors in West Valley? So the West Valley is like gonna be Walmart, maybe.
What about
I think
Target
West
area.
Valley's fine.
Yeah. So we can meet. Cotton Park.
Meet at the park.
Yeah, let's be in the park. We can do Riverside Park, or should we do Hanson? Or wherever this one's called again. Cottonwood Park. Is it Cottonwood Park? It's in West Valley.
Everyone has swings.
Whichever one. I love it. Here, let me do this.
Must have swings and slides.
It's a requirement.
Yes.
All right, so let's do. Yeah, let's move. What about we met? Oh, golf club. They're not gonna let us just chill there, are they? What is this? What about the Woodley Park? We meet there.
Let's do it.
Okay. I'll put it in the chat and I'll also put it in the event in the description. So put it for the Woodley Park, cold calling, or not cold calling, door knocking. Awesome.
There better be teeter-totters.
Yeah. Seeing you on a teeter-totter, Carl, who's on the other side? They're getting launched.
Why do you think I want a teeter-totter?
Oh, okay. You've seen people launched. Okay, I get it. Oh,
What's interesting is they fly over your head. Besides, Jared, was that a fat joke?
More of like a tall joke, but you could throw in fat in there. It's fine. Yeah, good.
Hey, Jared, I was wondering if you can help me out with something.
Yeah,
since
sure.
Since you had an iOS up, I was looking at an NOD list, and I'll send the address in the chat, but I wasn't able to find any contact information. It was actually here in Tooele, and according to the NOD list, the auction is for tomorrow. But I went on that family tree finder, put in the address, I got the names, but then no information came up. And since it's tomorrow, maybe it's someone's already contacted him, but I couldn't find anything.
So the auction's tomorrow. Okay, that's a challenge, right? And so when you went to Family Tree now, we were able to find their names, but just didn't have any phone numbers, or what was it, or not coming up with any names at all?
I went on the county assessor and I found their names.
Gotcha.
And then I got their names and put it in that family tree. It's like nobody was there.
So not even that. So it didn't show up their names at all, as far as like the.
Yeah, it was weird. So family tree is interesting. If their names are available, then it'll pull up all the information. Yep. So I saw their names down below where the public record is, and then that takes you to some weird third party
They will have like people finder links, which don't I wouldn't bother too much about.
Yeah,
about
so I
that,
didn't
right?
do that, but but
Here.
like their name was there, and it's in the chat. I threw it in the chat.
Oh, I was just gonna say, do you mind here? Let me share my screen again, and we'll just do. I got like 5 minutes, and I got to run, but this should be enough to. No, don't be sorry. It's good. I'm glad you asked it. Chat. Here it is. Okay, so we have Lisa and Jerome. God. So. Fowlers.
Yeah, and then in the sponsored link it says it has his name. Seems like it's correct, but then it takes me to that weird third party stuff.
Yeah. The third. That's interesting. And I don't know about the third party. It always seems a little dicey, but interesting. Okay, so let's do Lisa. We don't have middle name for Lisa or anybody like that, right? It's just kind of.
I think the assessor said Lisa M.
So what you do to edit search, it gives you a lot more options, guys. So you put in the address, if there's a certain phone number. Wonder if we do this. So if I erase this and just have the address. Okay, so 14 people for the address, the 387 West.
Here we go. The Jeremy related at least is up there.
Right.
Maybe the first one, because her middle name is what? Oh, it's an M. Never mind.
Yeah. So Lisa.
But she might be a relative. If the address shows up, she could know them. Going hat shopping.
Well, I mean, because I was buying all the hats for the.
I was like, Jared, you're ADHD, man. Come on.
Sorry, guys, I gotta make a hat shop.
Let's together.
Jeremy. Even Fowler's. This is her last name. So Addison Fowler. So that's the same last name.
Yeah, it could be related, a relative, someone that knows them.
So I think that'd be a good way to contact, right?
Yeah, call them and.
So yeah,
the address.
Right. So this is the address and this is the phone number for Addison, right?
Okay.
And then here, I'm gonna put it in the chat. So make sure to copy it before, or just look it up yourself, right? How you saw me how I did it, but
right. Yeah.
But copy because when we end it, then it's gonna. But also, once you get the address there, you can click on the address and it'll give hopefully more information about it, right? So we have. It looks like basically the same thing we originally got, wasn't it?
It says that Lisa M. Fowler is related down in the related. Yeah.
Yeah. So related. So hopefully, hang on a second. Let me go into here because it possible. So it doesn't have the. Oh, here we are. I'm just dumb. Possible associates. Oh man, there's like no information.
Right.
Because a lot of times they'll have possible relatives, and that's if they already have it marked as Lisa and what's his bucket as relatives, then usually be able to click on it and pull up their own information. But it just has associated, not. Okay.
And
hopefully Addison can point you in the right direction.
How would I go about kind of the verbiage on trying to get Lisa's information from whoever Addison is?
Yeah. So and the Stammer man works really good in this scenario. So when you're calling at Addison, I'll say, "Hey, is Addison? Oh, thank goodness. Oh my, like be relieved. Oh, thank God, I got a hold of you. Awesome. Hey, I was calling. I was trying to get a hold of and this may be the wrong number, and you may not be the right person, but hopefully you can kind of point me in the right direction. I'm trying to get a hold of Lisa and Jeremy. That Let's call it the property like 387 in Tooele. Does that property ring a bell? Do you know Lisa? And so like, well, yeah, maybe. Like, okay, good. So I'm trying to help him out. Like, is there any way that, because I'm trying to get him out of a situation and see if I can give them some options that might possibly help them. Is there any way that we can, do you have their contact information or you know anything about it? And a lot of times I'll just start giving you a lot of details, right? So
Yeah.
just being like, do you know, I don't know if you're the right person to even talk to, but can you point me in the right direction?
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And
Perfect.
let's go from there. Let them talk as much as possible and this, say, yeah, I'm calling about this property, the 387 here in Tooele.
Perfect.
I have some ideas that might be able to help Jeremy and Lisa.
Nice. All right. Perfect. Thank you very much, Jay. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I gotta run. I gotta run up to Grantsville and look at this property that that Brandon found. So, killer, guys, great job, great job. I really appreciate like the work, the success we're finding here. It's awesome. I'm really excited, inspiring. So keep at it, guys. Make those phone calls, whatever it is, right? Text messages to start reaching out, even if it's scary. Like Anna proved us, like it was scary, but she did everything she needed to do, right? So phenomenal. Okay, awesome, guys. Appreciate you.
Sweet, thank you.
Thanks.